Hello and welcome to News Now. The Borno State Police Command has confirmed that 4 suicide bombers died a few kilometers to Maiduguri in an unsuccessful operation as their vehicle exploded prematurely. The Commissioner of Police Aderemi Okbadukun confirmed this at a news conference in Maiduguri, northeast Nigeria. He said, quote, "There was explosion on Saturday when the 4 suspected female suicide bombers detonated explosives at Yazaraye village near Mulai on the outskirts of Maiduguri," end of quote. He also confirmed that investigation into the matter was in progress. Troops of 5 Brigade Nigerian Army say that they have destroyed all Boko Haram camps and enclaves at the border towns of Karenoa and Chikungudu, as well as their contiguous villages in Borno State, northeast Nigeria. Acting Director of Army Public Relations, Colonel Sani Usman, confirmed this development. He added that the troops discovered and destroyed over 20 well-fortified terrorist camps in the general area of Karenoa. According to Colonel Sani, the troops have also discovered that to evade aerial exploration and bombardment, the terrorists have dug twin tunnels to conceal their facilities and routes in and out of the camp. He added that among facilities discovered were training areas equipped with instructional and training materials that include wooden guns and others. The Nigerian government has filed fresh charges of alleged money laundering against a former National Security Advisor, Colonel Sambo Dasuki, retired. The federal government also applied to a federal high court in Abuja for a secret trial and is additionally seeking witness protection for all its witnesses in the trial. Justice Ademola Adeni of the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja on Monday expressed surprise at the decision of Prosecution Counsel to bring additional charges against Dasuki on a day set aside for definite hearing on the single count charge against him. The new charges include alleged retention of funds which formed part of the proceeds of an unlawful act of money laundering for which the former NSA pleaded not guilty. Prosecution Counsel M.S. Labaran on the first day of hearing announced the federal government decision to file new charges and also appeal for a secret trial. However, Dasuki raised objection to attempts to try him in secret. One of Dasuki's counsel, Joseph Daudu, in a counter motion objected to the request for special cover for protection witnesses prosecution witnesses, I should say, in the case on the ground that the case is harmless within a democratic setting that does not warrant secret trial. He also asked the court to release the travel documents of the accused so that he would be able to travel abroad for medical checkup. After the hearing was concluded, Justice Ademola then adjourned the case to Wednesday, October 28, 2015 for ruling on prosecution's request for secret trial and Dasuki's request for his travel documents to be released to him. Nyesom Wike, the governor of Rivers State, whose election was nullified by the Rivers State Election Petition Tribunal, has insisted that he remains governor of the state despite the ruling. In a state broadcast on Sunday, Wike also reaffirmed his position to appeal the tribunal's decision. He said, irrespective of the tribunal's verdict, he still remains governor of the state. Over the weekend, the Rivers State Governorship Election Tribunal sitting in Abuja sacked Governor Nyesom Wike and ordered a rerun election within 90 days. Wike is a member of Nigeria's main opposition party, the People's Democratic Party. Now, the All Progressives Congress candidate in the April 11 election, Dakuku Peter side, had challenged the declaration of Wike by INEC as the winner of the polls. Rivers State had witnessed violence during the March and April general elections. Now, as a result of fear of violence, the tribunal was moved to Abuja to hear the case. Chairman of the tribunal, Sulaiman Ambrusa, in his ruling said the election of Wike was flawed from the evidence presented before it. The Delta State Governorship Election Tribunal sitting in Asaba, the Delta State capital, that's in South Nigeria, has upheld the April 11 election of the state governor, Ifeanyi Okowa. The tribunal also threw out the petition by the Labour Party against the PDP and asked the Labour Party to pay the sum of 50,000 naira each to the respondents in the case. The first respondent in the case is the governor, Ifeanyi Okowa, while the second and third respondents are the PDP and the Electoral Commission, INEC. The tribunal is about now hearing the petition. We understand it has begun hearing the petition of the All Progressives Congress candidate Ortega Omero against Okowa. President Muhammadu Buhari will leave Abuja on Tuesday for New Delhi to participate in the third summit of the India-Africa Forum. A statement by presidential spokesperson Femi Adesina said President Buhari, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and other participating heads of state and governments at this year's summit will deliberate on issues currently of common concern to their countries, such as climate change and international terrorism. The summit follows the second summit held in Addis Ababa in 2011. The forum was established in 2008 as the official platform for the advancement of mutually beneficial relations between India and African nations. The leaders are also expected to discuss additional measures aimed at boosting joint collaboration to accelerate the pace of socio-economic development in Africa and India, as well as further cooperation for the alleviation of poverty and the eradication of hunger, disease and illiteracy. President Buhari will return to Abuja on Friday, October the 30th. The Osun State government in southwest Nigeria on Monday announced Prince Adeyeye Enitan Ogunwusi as the new Ooni of Ile-Ife. Ogunwusi, who is of the Giesi ruling house, is in the town, becomes the 51st Ooni to rule Ife. Secretary to the Osun State government said the election or selection of the new Ooni followed the completion of all processes for the filling of the exalted stool. A 40-year-old real estate magnate, Ogunwusi was selected from 21 candidates presented by the Giesi ruling house for the exalted stool. His selection was made known in a press statement by the Osun State Governor, Ralph Aregbesola. The announcement of a new traditional ruler for the ancient town came 89 days after the death of Oba Okunade Shijuade at a London hospital. Shijuade passed on after a brief illness on July the 28th, although Ile-Ife chiefs only confirmed his death on August the 10th. Opposition People's Democratic Party has called on its members, supporters across the country to rise up and use all lawful means to resist what it describes as anti-democratic forces using the judiciary and security agencies to subvert the will of the people. The party added that the actions of this few are also aimed at destroying the nation's democracy. The party says it is not willing to surrender the mandate freely given to it by the people in any part of the country, particularly in Rivers, Akwa Ibom, Delta, Abia, Taraba and other states where it won in the last general elections. PDP National Secretary Olisa Metu said, quote, the desperation so far exhibited by the President Buhari-led APC government in manipulating sensitive agencies of state like the judiciary and the security to further its bid to take over the rich states of Rivers, Akwa Ibom and Delta is totally against the spirit of democracy and peace bestowed by the PDP in conceding defeat at the presidential election, but instead an affront to the people and recipe for crisis in the polity, end of quote. The party maintained that the rulings by the Rivers and Akwa Ibom States Governorship Elections Tribunal, despite inherent contradictions, were direct fallout of interferences from the All Progressives Congress. The Ijaw Youth Council IYC has accused President Muhammadu Buhari, of focusing his anti-corruption war on Ijaws from the Niger Delta part of Nigeria. It also said the recent arrest of Nigeria's ex-petroleum minister Diezani Alison Madueke by British authorities for money laundering was a ploy against the Ijaws. The council also justified the activities of oil bunkerers and operators of illegal refineries in the Niger Delta, charging the federal government not to stop their activities unless it has alternatives for the participants. Now, President of the IYC, Udengs Eraderi, who stated this in a chat with journalists in Yenagoa, the Bayelsa State capital, claimed that engaging in the illegal activities was a means of livelihood for those involved. He said the participants are stopped from illegal activity, that if the participants are actually stopped from illegal activities, it could give rise to another form of militancy in the region, which at its peak prior to 2009 reduced Nigeria's crude oil production by about 50%. We'll take a short break here, and the news now will be right back. Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on TV360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions. Welcome back. Oil edged higher on Monday as investors prepared for a week of important economic indicators, but prices remained range-bound on indications that the global storage was nearing capacity. Brent, the international benchmark, was up 21 cents at $48.20 a barrel, while U.S. crude futures traded up 26 cents at $44.86 a barrel. The United Arab Emirates oil minister said on Monday he expected an upward correction in oil prices next year as demand is set to recover more quickly than expected. Now, many oil market experts remain bearish about the outlook for prices. However, a signal strengthened of a widening supply glut which has already caused crude to lose more than half of its value since June 2014. At least 100 people have been killed in Pakistan after a powerful earthquake struck a remote area of northeastern Afghanistan on Monday. Officials said the 7.5 earthquake also shook the capital, Kabul. Shockwaves were felt in northern India and in Pakistan's capital, where hundreds of people ran out of buildings as the ground rolled beneath them. The U.S. Geological Survey initially measured the quake's intensity at 7.7, then revised it down to 7.6 and later to 7.5. International aid agencies working in the northern areas of Afghanistan reported that cell phone coverage in the affected areas remains down in the hour after the initial quake. Now, the earthquake comes exactly 6 months after Nepal suffered its worst quake on record. On April the 25th, over 9,000 people lost their lives and 900,000 homes were damaged or destroyed in that incident. The World Health Organization has warned that processed meats such as bacon, sausages, and ham can cause cancer. In a report, it said 50 grams of processed meat a day, which is of course less than 2 slices of bacon, increases the chances of developing colorectal cancer by 18%, while also adding that red meats were probably carcinogenic, but there was limited evidence. The WHO, however, did stress, however, that meat also had some health benefits. Let's turn to sports now. FIFA President Sepp Blatter has backed Nigeria's FIFA presidential candidate, Ojus Okalo, for the FIFA presidency, hailing him as Africa's best chance for the FIFA presidency. Blatter, who is serving a 90-day ban placed on him by FIFA Ethics Committee, described Carlo's experience as vital for the next leadership of the world governing body. Speaking in Zurich, Blatter said the position of the FIFA president is too important to be left to just anybody. Blatter says he finds Carlo very qualified and interesting because he's not only a businessman but also a politician with lots of contacts and corporate experience. Unfortunately for Carlo, he's not been nominated by the Nigerian Football Federation. So we now wait and see what happens to his ambition next, if he's still going to press ahead. But then he's failed to secure the nomination of the Nigerian Football Federation. Meanwhile, UEFA General Secretary Gianni Infantino has entered the FIFA presidential election race hours before the deadline for candidates. UEFA actually says it will support the Infantino's candidacy in the upcoming elections. The European Football Body's executive body gave unanimous support for its General Secretary's candidacy after consulting with other national federations. In a short statement, UEFA said Infantino was the right man to rebuild FIFA following the corruption scandal which forced Blatter to call early elections. His announcement follows that of Liberia FA President Musa Beliti, who earlier on announced that he has officially submitted his candidacy for the elections. Still on the FIFA presidency, South Korea's Chung Moon-jung has officially pulled out of the FIFA presidential race due to the ban placed on him by the FIFA Ethics Committee. The South Korean was given a 6-year ban by the Ethics Committee after he was found guilty of corruption charges leveled against him. Now, with the deadline of submission for the official submission of candidacy for the FIFA presidency fast approaching, the former FIFA vice president has conceded defeat and formally withdrawn his candidacy for the elections. His withdrawal leaves Frenchman Jerome Champagne, Prince Ali of Jordan, former Trinidad and Tobago player David Nakid, Asian Football Confederation President Sheikh Salman Al Khalifa, suspended UEFA President Michel Platini, South African tycoon Tokyo Sexwale, UEFA General Secretary Gianni Infantino, and Liberian FA President Musa Beliti as the only candidates to have formally submitted their bid for the FIFA presidency. All nominees have a deadline of 12 midnight on Monday, October 26 to formally submit their bid. Well, I hope Segun Odegbami will submit his bid before 12 midnight today. That's it on News Now. We thank you very much for watching. Continue to stay tuned to TV360.